Hi, this is Chef Ajay Chopra and I am cooking a beautiful macaroni and cheese pasta. Well, today we're going to learn how to make a perfect mac and cheese. Let's begin. The first thing we have to do is to make sure we boil our pasta really well. And there is definitely a technique in this. You put enough and more salt. I'm going to add some olive oil. Now is the time to boil our Wakefield elbow pasta. Well, I'm boiling this pasta and you can see the color and the texture of the pasta is changing and it's becoming beautiful. This pasta is magnificent. So there are over 300 authentic styles of pasta which are made with different flours. The most commonly used is the durum wheat flour, which is also like semolina. It's actually 100% wheat, but it's a little coarser and it is more glutinous. Well, the gluten helps to keep the shape and the form of the pasta intact, and that's how a beautiful pasta is rolled in the sauce. The sauce is just coating the pasta and makes it beautiful. But the best part is, since it's whole wheat, it's also healthy. So Wakefield pasta is made with 100% durum wheat semolina, and that makes it super healthy. This pasta needs to be boiled for a good 8 to 10 minutes, and I'll show you also when it gets boiled, it's very little patla white line, so that you know that when is the pasta al dente. So I'm going to prepare white sauce now, and that needs hot milk. So this milk is getting boiled, and this goes right back into the bowl it came from. In the same pan, I'm going to start with butter along with all-purpose flour or maida. So this is what we are doing, is making a roux. So the flour and butter is just getting cooked. Now in this, I'm going to add the hot milk. And very quickly, I would need a whisk to whisk the flour and butter together. Make sure that this is done very quickly, otherwise there will be lumps formed and that is not enjoyable. So now this sauce is becoming thick. I'm going to add a little salt here. Now I'm going to just add a little butter on the top and just leave the sauce, because since we're going to leave this sauce for 15 minutes, I don't want a film to be made over this sauce. So just kind of leaving this butter. Now is the time where we will start making the cream sauce. So I'm going to start with some chopped onions. Once the onion starts getting a bit of translucency, that's the time you need to add the chopped garlic. This will get cooked little, not too much. Well, you might be thinking that, I'm a chef, I'm a pro in all these things. Very quickly I've made this white sauce and kept aside, these vegetables are properly cut, everything is ready. Well, I must tell you that every pro has started his journey with failures, including mine. I did not learn cooking from my mother's womb, really. Nobody does. So you have to understand that every pro learns with mistakes. Well, I must tell you a story that, first of all, before the story, it's important that you know that this has to be cooked on very slow flame. Slow, because you don't want the onions to become brown. You need to make them translucent, just saute. Okay, so the story is that, whilst I was growing up and I had this interest to be alongside my mom in the kitchen. And I don't know for what reason, but I would just be there to help her out. And whilst helping her, this whole thing started to grow in me. I don't even remember, I think I was 12 years old that time. And this whole thing started to grow on me. And I said, wow, I like this, this is a good thing. And I started to enjoy being in the kitchen. More so that, when I would actually, I was quite hooked on to, street food. And in that time, we used to get Chinese and Italian food, Indian style, tadka marke. We used to get that on those vans, on those red vans. And, when I would go there to pick up, that takeaway food, my whole interest was on that guy who was actually chopping. And he was chopping with the speed of light. and I would come back home and try to do the same thing. And I would be left with very thick cut cabbage with blood on it, because obviously I cut my fingers. I was obviously bleeding, crying, but at the same point of time enjoying this, because I was learning something new. The important part is never stop learning. The important part is that wherever you start, don't give up, because I could have given up. I could have easily given up with that blood and no, I don't want to do it, but I did not give up. I had many failures, right from chopping my fingers off to, drooling 100 liters of sauce. Yes, I mean, with the chef like me, you can actually think that why and how would he do that? But yeah, I have been responsible for spilling 100 liters of sauce. That was a bad day in my life, but all those days taught me, and that's how I'm here. Well, this onion is now cooked, sauteed. Let's move on to adding the spices and the cream in it. Adding some salt here, some cracked pepper. And if you have fresh thyme, you can have fresh thyme. Otherwise, you can add dried thyme as well. Okay. Now, a very important tip. You see this water I have still reserved when I drained the pasta. So this water is going to be used to thin down my sauce. Because if in this hot pan I add cream directly, it's going to split up. So now I'm going to add cooking cream. This is a cream sauce ready. So if I just stir up any pasta in this, penne, fusilli, spaghetti, macaroni or elbow pasta, this is ready. There is nothing else to be done here. If I do not add thyme and I add basil pesto, I can make pesto cream. But if I want to make mac and cheese with vegetables for my children, I'm going to add some chopped boiled carrots and also some lovely American corn. So this will give it that goodness of vegetables as well. So the kids will love it. So the pasta sauce is ready. This is the cream sauce. But for mac and cheese, 3 more things to go in this. One is the white sauce, one is the pasta, and one is loads of cheese. I want to add grated cheese. I'm adding mozzarella. So now this cheese will have to melt in the pasta sauce. I'm going to add some of this white sauce. Now you can see the sauce is nice and thick and cheesy. And at this stage, I'm going to add our Wakefield elbow pasta. All I'm doing is just gently mixing it, because the pasta should not be over-handled. It can break, and that is not how it's going to look beautiful. So now this is going to go onto a baking tray and get baked. Well, this Wakefield pasta is beautifully made with 100% durum wheat. It's healthy, it's amazing. Now just going to sprinkle some more cheese on top. Well, this is going to go inside the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes, 180 degrees. It's going to come out beautiful and cheesy. Amazing. Look at that beauty. This is what I wanted, the bubbly, light brown, cheesy crust. Well, this mac and cheese is now ready to plate. Finally, garnishing it with some fresh basil. Well, this beautiful pasta is made with Wakefield pasta. It's available today in every store, everywhere, online as well, and you can buy it. Well, Wakefield has been in our lives for the last 60 years, and they've been a consistent partner for all my baking. I totally and truly trust Wakefield for all my baking needs. Now, it's the time for pasta.